Hey folks, woodgeist here again with the final installment of the zombie knife, Kukri. The official name now is Kukri-Z or Kukri-Z. Little side note, a lot of people say that Canadians do or are supposed to pronounce the letter Z. I disagree. I am Canadian, but I do disagree. Um, if you look at a lot of letters in the alphabet, they end in an E sound as opposed to an ed sound. No letters end in ed, but you have C, D, E, G. These all end in E sounds. Why not Z? Still, Kukri-Z sounds kind of cool. Call it what you will. No persecution here. Don't expect me to say the alphabet and end it in Z, though. It's XYZ. But here's the knife. Enough of the side note politics on letters. As I've said before, the knife is inspired a lot by Magnus Axelsson. For those of you who haven't seen his work, check him out. For those of you who have, you might recognize the sheath idea with the open back here. The tip is completely surrounded with a welt, but the back is left open. I've gone with a button stud, brass button stud, which holds really nice. I had a snap in, and I couldn't get the snap to close. I was just having trouble with it. I don't really trust snaps all that much anyways. So I went with the button stud. I had just the one line around. Another thing about the sheath, the belt loop is on an angle so that the knife, when it dangles, is on a bit of a slant back. This is meant to be worn on, for me, the right hip, maybe a little to the front. Because I'm right-handed, I don't do cross draw. I'm a little big for that. So I keep the knife on the side of the hand I use. The angle is just to keep it out of the way a little. It's kind of aesthetic too. It looks sort of cool hanging down like a sword, dangling to the back. Let's have a look at the knife. Here it is. You can see that's edge coat. That's opaque black dye for the edge of leather. I just finished, so I'm still wearing the marks of the leather worker. Check out the blade. 2 different grinds. You can see sort of 2 choils. This is kind of hard. It's hard to get it to a point that is sharpenable. Originally, when I started, this was far more curved. And I found out after trying to sharpen it, that there was just no way I was going to sharpen it with a stone. It would have been possible with a rod, but I don't own any, so I straightened that out a bit, and I actually think it looks better for it. The finish on the blade, I only went to 120 grit. I tried a couple passes using wet dry sandpaper to get to a satin finish, but I was just not getting anything as nearly uniform as the 120 grit from my belt grinder. The belt grinder I used, by the way, was a 1 3/4 by 32. I got from KMS. It was about $200. I got a display unit, so I saved like $35. But that thing's turned out to be a really good tool. Show you the handle. Be careful holding it. The handle is green canvas micarta. Couple things about this stuff. I think it's very important to wear a face mask. It's always important to wear a face mask when you're grinding, even when you're doing wood or leather or whatever. You don't want anything in your lungs besides air. Um, but especially this stuff because it's like a resin, or yeah, kind of like an epoxy infused layers of fabric. You don't want the dust in your lungs. One thing I will say about this, when you first drill a hole through it, it smells really sweet, and I kind of like the smell. Um, some people might disagree. I guess I might just be weird that way. For the pins, I used 1/4 inch brass tube, thin wall. Um, and I should say, before I keep going, I want to say thank you to Canadian Knife Maker Supply. They are in Alberta, very close to my hometown, um, and they ship very quick. The prices are good. They have good selection. I have everything I get for knife making. I get from them. So if you live in Alberta or Canada for that matter, check them out. Sorry about that. I just wanted to check name and address. That it is Canadian Knife Maker Supply. The website is knifemaker.ca, and they're in Sundre, Alberta. They have canvas and G10. They have a whole bunch of steels. I only order 01 steel. So far, that's the only steel I've worked with, and I like it. They have brass stuff. They have fasteners. They do sell large grinders. I can't afford one. But check them out. They're really good. Really quick shipping. So thank you to them. Back to the knife. As I was saying, I used brass tube for the handle pins. The idea I got for this was from Bark River Knife and Tool. Every once in a while, you'll see one of their knives with with tubes for pins. They do some really cool stuff. So I imagine you've all seen them, but if you haven't, check them out. This knife so far, I've used to split small pieces of wood. I chopped at the workbench in my garage. I have chopped through a piece of leather really easily, laying flat, the same length as the blade, just with one quick chop. I imagine if you had to quarter a moose, this would do it. So yeah, I'm really happy with the project. I intend to make another one. This is out of 3/16 01. I have a piece of steel with a pattern traced out already in 1/4 inch. So I'm looking to make a little bit thicker one. The next one will be a little longer. This is about 13 inches long. Weight-wise, it's hefty. It's not a light knife. I don't have a scale, but I don't know. It's bigger than my little bushcraft knives. The point is a drop point, but it's a very strong one. Kind of looks like a missile coming across the screen. So again, if you are concerned about the zombie apocalypse, I'd be more than happy to make one of these for you. I am a college student, so it'll take a while, but no harm in being prepared. So, Kukri-Z, thanks for checking it out. This is Woodgeist.